For over a decade, Emilie Morris kept her allegations private. But then, at age 33 and with 2 kids of her own, Emilie has a change of heart, finally deciding to go public with her claims.
I mean, we had encouraged her for years to do this. I think, she had endured enough pain over the years. She had enough, and she just said, I want to do this.
Authorities take the claims seriously.
They contacted us after doing some preliminary investigation, and it was assigned to one of my sex crimes prosecutors at about that same time.
But investigators would need more than Emilie's word alone.
They needed evidence, and so the police gave her an audio recorder, and she ended up going and meeting up with him.
After several phone calls, Wilder finally agrees to meet with Emilie in a parking lot of a local mall.
Started recording now. Just hope this goes well.
But the mission is almost over before it begins.
Hey.
How are you?
Oh, sorry.
You're not wired, are you?
Wilder is immediately suspicious, but Emilie is quick to set his mind at ease.
Can I just tell you the good news about things? That I started seeing a new doctor and I'm on the medication and I feel normal for once.
Emilie tells Wilder she just wanted to meet because her new therapist suggested it might be helpful, but that only seems to make him more nervous.
Maybe this doctor said, bust his you know what I mean?
He's not that kind of person.
After more coaxing from Emilie, Wilder appears to relax.
You know what, it's a weird deal, because if you go 90% of the world, 15's legal. So if I go over and boff a 15-year-old in Spain, I can do all day in the streets, whatever, and nothing would happen. You touch a 16-year-old and you go to jail here.
It wasn't an admission of anything, but Emilie wasn't done. If what she claimed happened was true, she would need Wilder to discuss details.
She was really good at, you can tell they kind of gave her hints about how to, guide to have him say certain things.
When I drove by the park and, all the memories kind of flood in.
She's talking about the park where she asserts they had their first encounter playing that very adult game of chicken.
So up in I look back, I'm like, what the was I thinking?
But there were much more serious allegations than that. Emilie claims not long after that game of chicken, Wilder drove her home and performed oral sex on the then confused and unwilling 15-year-old girl.
And finally,
You still did.
I felt not for very long, and I could tell by and I was like, okay, what did I say? Do you really want to do this? I think you said no.
I don't remember. All I remember is going out on the trampoline.
I said, let's go outside. And you're like, okay. And we went out there, and once we got to the trampoline, I felt like 2,000 times better. I'm like, okay. So yeah, it would have been kick just to have had a non-sexual relationship at that time.
But Emilie claims the married father could have stopped things and didn't, that the relationship continued for years, even after high school when they were both consenting adults.
We really didn't do much until you got to college. We did. I mean, we did something that wasn't right according to our laws these days, right? But, I'm not a creeper. I didn't creep. I didn't try and, let me see if I can get in her.
No, we had never.
You know what I mean?
In fact, Wilder seems to imply it was really Emilie who kept things going.
There were times I did not want to do anything because I just didn't think it was what we should do, but we do it anyway.
Yeah.
And part of you're persuasive, and I want to make you mad? You'd get mad at me, and so okay, let's go. And it wasn't like it hurt. It was. Yeah. I did enjoy the end result.
Soon after that comment, Emilie tells Wilder she has to pick up her kids and ends the 87-minute recording, but not before Wilder seems to make it clear he wouldn't be opposed to reliving their past.
Yeah, one of these days we will have to. I'm going to get in shape, and we will have to, just for fun.
But that day will never come. Emilie turns the recording over to authorities, and just weeks later, James Wilder is under arrest.
After the investigation went on, Mr. Wilder was taken into custody, and we filed 6 counts of statutory sodomy. Each count carries a maximum penalty of up to 7 years in the penitentiary.
For 47-year-old James Wilder, a potential life sentence. For Emilie Morris, an apparent turning point.
She's in the best place I've ever seen her. I have so many wonderful pictures of our children and of us, and it couldn't have been better.
We even have things that she wrote to friends that say, like, I feel like I'm finally getting somewhere and I'm finally able to heal now that we're starting to go forward with this.
But going forward was really not so fast, with both sides arguing over the details of a potential plea deal for months.
Our recommendation was that he be sentenced to the penitentiary for 7 years, that he'd have to go through the sex offender treatment program there. He would be a registered sex offender and have to register for life.
Then, after nearly 2 years of legal wrangling, Emilie tells loved ones she thinks they're finally close to resolution.
She had said that she was either going to come to a conclusion or go to trial November 15th.
Instead, November 4th, a Tuesday, after failing to reach his daughter on the phone, Emilie's dad goes to her apartment. No answer.
And when you got there, did you call out for her?
Yeah. Her front door was locked, and so there was a back door that was open, and I went in, and she was laying next to her bed. I said, Emily, what are you doing there? Let me help you up. And when I reached down, I knew she was cold.
She was 35 years old. Coming up.
She was laying on the ground in a blanket with her head in the trash can.
Emilie Morris has lost her life, but how? And just what does it mean for her case?
I mean, it seemed like things couldn't get any worse, and then they did. My dad had found her first. She was laying on the ground in a blanket with her head in like a kitchen trash can, and it was like wedged up to her elbows.